Part 3. You will hear a student called Susan talking to an education officer called Edward, who works at a nature reserve in East Africa called Chumbe. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Hello, Susan. My name's Edward.
Hello. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me. I sent you a letter.
Yes.
I'm doing an education course, and I'm looking at how local institutions interact with their community. I was a tourist here in Chumbe a few years ago, and when I read about your science program for schools, I thought I could use it as a case study.
Fine. Go ahead and tell us what you want to know.
Well, I know that since I first came here, you've expanded your activities?
Yes, we have. Chumbe's always been important because it's a coral island and it's got a wide variety of wildlife species. But a few years ago, it became even richer in natural resources.
Is that because there were increased safeguards?
Yes. We were officially designated a nature reserve, and now we've got more people coming from all over the world to study here in our ongoing research program.
Can you tell me about the background to the school's program?
Uh-huh.
I know it started in 2004, and I think it was intended to link directly into the school's ecology syllabus?
That's right. We responded to an approach by a local primary school teacher. He asked if he could bring his pupils here to do some nature studies with our rangers. Then we started organising field trips for other schools. We got government funding, initially for 12 months. That period was eventually extended, but the government sent a team to do a formal evaluation first.
Do you mind just telling me briefly what their report said?
They found that, in general, the field trips had been enjoyable and stimulating, and they'd been effective in raising awareness, both in the children and also in their teachers, of the natural environment and the need to manage resources carefully.
Great. And did they suggest any changes?
Not exactly. They told us what the problems were, and then they left it up to us to decide how to solve them.
For example?
The feedback suggested that the field trips could be even more beneficial if schools had materials to give them a better grounding in life sciences.
I see.
So, our staff here in Chumbe started producing materials for schools. We're already distributing an information pack that we produced for use in class prior to the field trips, and that material seems to be working well. And we've also begun work on another pack about coral reefs, specifically for teachers, which we'll be trialling in September.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
The feedback also told us that schools weren't certain what to expect when they came on the trips. So, we decided to institute a preparatory visit by our staff to give a presentation.
What does that involve?
About a month beforehand, members of our education team meet teachers and pupils and talk them through a sample itinerary for their field trip. They also explain how they have to behave, because we have to be very careful about health and safety.
And I suppose you also have to make sure that the resources themselves don't suffer any damage?
Exactly. Another thing the team does is explain the correct handling of snorkeling apparatus, and children are allowed to try it out.
Oh.
We take it all along to the meeting.
And now that you've introduced these changes, will there be another evaluation?
Eventually, yes. But we've already had some very positive feedback informally. Teachers have told us they feel better prepared for the trip and have a better idea what to expect, and that the pupils feel less nervous about the trips. And there have been a couple of unanticipated benefits too. Staff here say that the preparatory visits help them to gauge the level of the pupils in terms of their understanding of conservation issues.
So you can tailor your program more effectively to the needs of each group?
Yes. And also, because our rangers have a chance to explain about the tides and the fact that the coral reef can only be visited on foot at specific times, schools have been getting here much more punctually.
Great. Well, thank you for filling me in. That was very useful.
Is there anything else we can help you with?
Could I possibly see the formal evaluation report you mentioned?
Yes, I can arrange to get you a copy. Do you want the materials pack too?
Oh, that'd be great. Then I can take them back with me. I won't read them here. I've only got a couple of days. And I'd like to ask a few of the teachers who've been here some questions, if possible.
We'll give you some contact details. But if you've got time, wouldn't you like to participate in one of the field trips? We've got a new group arriving here this afternoon.
I'd really appreciate that. I was going to ask if I could just take some photos of them, but this would be even better. And my camera's not working right anyway.
Good. Well, why don't you come and have lunch with us?
That is the end of Part 3. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 3.